packaging by the name of Uline, uline.com.
Yeah.
It's the letter U and line.com, and you can get onto their website. And one of the things that Uline sells is an envelope, size of an 8.5 by 11, let's say, or actually 9 by 12 manila envelope that comes in colors, and the front of it there's a piece of cellophane or plastic or whatever you want to call it that is in the front, so you can see exactly what is inside that envelope. So it was my feeling that I would put my capability statement into that envelope, which I can buy from Uline, so you'd have to look at the colors that Uline carries to find something compatible. So when I'm giving it to somebody, it's in a protective covering. So they put it on their desk. I don't want them to fold it. I want them to keep it on their desk. And because it looks very important and because of the way it is set up, they're going to hold on to it. Brochures, I always wonder how many brochures go into the trash 2 seconds after somebody has handed a brochure. And you know, you only have people's attention for a couple of seconds, but the way a capability statement is set up, it forces people to actually read it because it's serious stuff and it's things that they have to know. Where a brochure is more lackadaisical, more fun. It has just the highlights of what you do. It doesn't necessarily have the meat and potatoes because you don't want it to be too boring.
What we're going to need to do is get all that content that you would have on the
So I will send you this one that I have from this lady, Lily, and I will also put together what I think I would like. And if you have anybody in your group that is a writer and can put it in a different way, that would be fun. I do actually have a professional writer who I've asked to help me do this so I can make sure that it's done in the exact way. And I can get her on this very, very quickly, and she will understand how the page is set up. Her name is Joan Black, and her company is called The Creative Octopus. I have a new business card. I don't like the one that I'm using currently. I did send Ed a file that you probably have gotten from a previous business card, which worked very well for me, but I thought that the way my name was on the card, it was very old-fashioned. So you may have gotten it. It's a horizontal card. It's,
the one we got was vertical.
Vertical, I'm sorry, a vertical card that is shades of gray, black, and red. And the red in that card was done in foil. So it really, really popped my very thin font that I was using. Mm. So I would like my name in some way where my name would be my logo.
Question, is it Davidson and Associates?
No, it's just Davidson Associates. Okay. Everybody wants to put that on there. Okay. And, the tagline on it is promotional ideas and products. And my email was recently hacked. And so I have changed my email from what it was before, which was Davidson Promo1 @Yahoo. I have changed it now to the tagline, promotional ideas and products at gmail.com. Now, once I have a website, of course, it will change again, or then I may just leave it. I haven't really decided how I'm going to handle that. But this way, people always know promotional ideas and products. And yesterday, I actually got a call from a company on the construction end. It was a community management company who was recommended by another client. And the man on the phone says, "This Davidson Associates promotional ideas and products. And I understand you have lots of ideas. So is it working?" "Yes," because I get that all the time. Good. And so I'm going to see them on Monday, and that will be interesting because I haven't done anything in the quasi-construction for a while. So that will be nice.
Well, you've also you define the medical as opposed to the geriatrics, or what do you refer to?
Well, it's probably, we say senior medical.
Senior medical market.
Senior medical market.
The municipal market.
And the municipal. And then, I do just get companies here and there from people. I will not turn away an order when somebody wants 300 ballpoint pens. But that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for something where people can see that if you have a program with promotional items that you will see how well it works. There's a company here in town called Professional Roofing Services, and you've probably seen their trucks. PRS is what it says on their trucks. And when they started the business, which I would say was probably about 12 years ago, and I started working with them about 9 years ago, they understood the purpose of promotional items in building a company. So every time they go to any type of event, whether they go to the housing event, you know, where all the people who can do renovations in your home show up at Cashman Field, and there's those a few times a year, or whether they go to industry events, or when they're salespeople and go out to a home, they understand that they have to spend some money on promotional products, to the point where when they finish a house, when they either fix a roof or put a new roof, they have 2 baskets with things in it that they drop off at that house. It's the salesperson who closed the account, goes to that home. There is some food goods in there, and then there is always Post-it notes, a couple of very nice pens that go in there. There might be a mug. On the better ones, they actually give a stainless steel traveler's mug. They understand that that $15 or $20 that they spend is going to come back at them 20-fold. And then in there is something that they call roofing bucks. This was not my idea. This was their idea, and it's a brilliant idea. They actually send something that I don't print. They have a different printer who uses it, that is called roofing bucks. And they get about $300 worth of roofing bucks. And they can give the roofing bucks, which are basically $50 a piece.
Does it look like shingles?
No, it just looks, actually it doesn't. Too bad. I really should tell them it should look like a shingle. But they actually give them a half a dozen of these, and they can give them to 6 friends, and there's no expiration date on it. So
referrals, huh?
You know, it's money, so people will hold on to that for a while for referrals, and they get roofing bucks back all the time. And what they do, and which is, you know, what an advertising agency would do, is there's a code. They have several different roofing bucks that have codes. And the code might be, this is a code that we left it with a house that did a full roof. This is a code for a house that we just repaired a roof. And this is the code that we gave them out at a trade show. And it's a very strong item, so they can actually track it. Because nobody is ever going to tell you, I called you because your name was on a ballpoint pen. That ballpoint pen is going to go a minimum of 6 places. I mean, any woman sitting out there, if you go through your handbag at the end of the week, you've got a half a dozen pens in your bag, and you have absolutely no idea how you got them. You left one, you picked one up, and every time you look at it, it's a ka-ching. It's money in the bank for the company that did it. So they have things that go out all the time, and they love refrigerators. Even though I tell them a lot of people are moving to stainless steel, they still like the idea of different types of magnets, funny magnets, magnets with coupons on them. They love to do magnets. They give away a thing for the kitchen. It's one of the oldest promotional products that people don't realize is a very strong one. It's that little round jar opener. But that little round flat drawer opener that really does help open up a jar has other uses. So besides having their logo in the center, around the edges we have the uses. And the use might be if you need to change a hot light bulb, use this thing and you're not going to get burned. Another use is for a lady to keep it in her handbag. It takes off the lint. A man can keep it in his pocket if he's wearing a suit and he's going into an important meeting and he wants to make sure before he walks in that he doesn't have any, you know, dandruff or lint on his jacket. So it's a very great, I mean, it's a silly item and it's a great item. It works very well.
Very utility.
Another thing that they did is they did what we call these computer calendars. They're like a cling material that leaves no residue. You can get them square, you can get them long. Your logo and your information goes smack dab in the middle. And you can put it on your computer. You can put it on your desk, so you always have a calendar in front of you. And I always tell my clients to give 2. They're very inexpensive. One, which you say to your client, you know, this really works great in the kitchen, where your phone is, so when you have to look up a date when somebody calls you, you got it right there on the inside of your kitchen cabinet. and then of course on your computer. Those are great items.
Okay, so you've listed here about a capacity statement and your capability statement, and you're going to get all the information that goes in there to us.
And even the calendar can be a work of art, because all we're buying is a blank sheet, a blank piece of this material. They are not pre-printed. So if an artist came up with a way to do the calendar a little bit differently in 1 or 2 colors, let's say, and you have it across, and maybe it's going to be going to school children or to teachers or something like that. So if you wanted to put down some of the holidays that the school would be closed, you would still have a space to do it. Your numbers might be a little bit smaller, but an artist could do it in bold, in a bold font, and still not have to do it very big, and maybe still have some space on the side, either for an advertisement for the company or to list some important dates. And all of this, the way you do it, the font, the way you present it, that makes a very, very big difference.
What would you use to promote your business?
Okay.
What do you see? I mean, besides
that's always a problem for me, because the thing is, when I have a promotional product, I want people to understand that it's something for my business, and that they may or may not like that item because it may not be for their business. So I do just a few things. One of the things that I like to do is I do a Post-it note that is made like a Slinky. Mm-hmm. Slinky is actually given their name to a company. They get a royalty on it. And it is a Post-it note that is round, and it is glued on every other side, so you actually can play with it at your desk. It's a little on the pricey side, but it's the type of thing that when somebody gets it and I show it to them, when I leave, they're going to walk around their office and say, hey, look at this, isn't this a neat item? And they're not very big, so I do my logo in the center and sort of just a washout kind of thing. And I probably would also put my telephone number there also, because there's not a lot of space. But it is an item that is very handy that people will use and will get passed around in office. So I like that item. Another item that I like to give is if I am working with a woman, I like to give an emery board. And I'll explain why. Any of the women in your class could attest to this. I'm driving down the road. I'm a passenger in a car with my best friend, and I look at my nail and say, you know, I just broke this nail. Well, we don't want to leave it jagged because it's going to catch on our clothing. Next thing is, do you have an emery board? Person says, yes, I do. You go down into the bottom of their purse. There is an emery board that might have been 20 cents. And you're going to file your nail. And you know something, the person driving the car would sooner let you out of the car with a Mont Blanc pen than that 20-cent emery board, because that to a woman is an invaluable thing to have, because you're not going to ruin your clothing. So that 20%, that 20 cents emery board is going to stay with the client.
Do you have a lot of clients that are women?
Not necessarily, but I mean, it doesn't really matter. I keep all sorts of stuff. The minimum on that, I think I can order 750 of them, and it's an inexpensive item. If
you have a client, you go in and they're a purchasing agent for one of the municipalities, and it's a woman, you might leave that for her.
I can't leave that.
But yeah, that's right.
The only thing I can leave is my capacity statement. But for my assisted living, all of those, I can do that. Plus, I always like to send something. For every order, I like to send something. So I have to find items, and this is a challenge. So you may say, well, do this, do that. What I have to do is I have to find out what the minimum number of something is. Because in the course of a year, I may only have 500 orders or 400 orders. When you have items where you have to order 250 of something, that may not, if you can't send the same thing over and over again. So you have to figure out how you're going to do it. So I may pick 3 or 4 orders. And then when I get into a pinch, even though I don't like having to do this, but if somebody has given me a lot of orders, I may be forced to go to a store like Time Remembered, pick out an item there, have them laser engrave it for me, and take it to a client rather than buy 150 of an item that I may not need something of that value.